fly $1,000,000 away somewhere, just me and you. Come we go MIA somewhere far from this bush. Let's fly $1,000,000 away somewhere, just me and you. I don't care where we go, as long as so far, so far, so far from here. It's about time I took a little trip.
I feel like we got to be curious sometimes, and I know they say curiosity killed the cat, but you introduce yourself to new things. You never know who you're gonna meet, and where that may even lead you. And you make new memories, maybe uh with some of the same people or with new people, and you build new connections. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy back with another episode of Get It Together with Big Maul, starring me, your host. Big Maul, Molly B, Jamal, J, whatever it is that you call me, we're back. I made a promise last episode and I did not keep my promise. I'm sorry. I gotta do better because I lied. You know what I'm saying? But in the moment, I didn't think that I was lying. Like, I didn't think that I was not going to come out with another episode, the next week like I was supposed to. But I just got busy, man. But I hope y'all been okay. Hope y'all forgive me. And thank y'all for tuning in wherever you are, whatever time it is, whatever day it is, whoever you are. Thank you. Okay. Let's get into it, man. So what I've been doing, what I've done, eventful wise, man, I've been outside. Okay, I've been outside. You know what I'm saying? Just aside from going out to eat, with like friends of mine, going to the park and just doing things, man, literally being outside. Um, I went to a festival on Saturday. This was like last Saturday. I went to a festival with my mom called the Rice Festival in Riceboro, Georgia. I had no plans on going to this festival. My mom was supposed to go with someone, but that person canceled on her. She called me just to let me know, like, hey, I'm not going to the festival anymore. Such and such canceled on me. Man, I was looking forward to it. We talked for a minute. I got off the phone. Then I thought about it and I was like, man, she sounded very, very down about that. And we haven't spent, like, me and her haven't done anything in such a long time. Why not? So I called her back. I said, get dressed. We going to the Rice Festival. So got dressed. It started raining, but I got a little recap on my socials. I posted a video, but it was very, very fun. It was very informative. Also, there were a lot of different there were vendors out there. There were tents with different things, bracelets, food, of course, t-shirts, just like different things that you can use for like around the house and all of the things, man. And it was so dope. The food was great. I got some cologne. My mom got some perfume. I got some bracelets. Um, and just being around people celebrating the history and the culture of the Rice Festival, and me, being my first time, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know um what it was about essentially. So I found out, it was about the history. Well, first off, it is about Riceboro, Georgia. It's a small place. Um, and for Riceboro, Georgia, the festival is celebrating the culture from in which the Gullah Geechee shouters, uh, their background is just, excuse me, them singing songs that they used to sing during slavery times when they would be out in the field picking cotton and just really having to live that lifestyle and praying and coming up with ways to keep their heads up and keep their spirits up, keep themselves together as a unit and loving one another, and despite all of the things against us or against them, they were still able to bind together and stay strong together. So there were songs that they sung and different performances that they did, and just also the different rice, types of rice that came through the area that would be cooked. And even after slavery, even after we broke out, obviously it was still segregation. Um, so we still had to deal with that. We still had to deal with racism as we still do today. It hasn't gone anywhere. And if you think about it, it has not been that long. But so that was the Rice Festival, and I actually, before I move on to the next subject, um, I actually want to go into detail. I want to read um a little bit about what it what was the what started the Rice Festival, like what was it that how did it come about basically, because the festival in Riceboro, it was the 17th annual. So this is 17 years. Um, but like I said, there were vendors, and it was, like I said, a celebration of the Gullah Geechee culture. And they focused on the history with music, with food, vendors, and family activities. Now, the one in Louisiana is International Rice Festival, and they celebrate um, the rice industry with music, cuisine, carnival rides, and parades, which they had a parade in Riceboro, but we didn't make it to that. That was going, and also Louisiana, Crowley, Louisiana. That is the rice capital of the world. So um, that was the reason. That is where it originated. But with Riceboro being so close to the coast, and Gullah Geechee Gullah Geechee is down south. That's the Geechee culture. That was an entire culture. It was a language. It was a language. It was Geechee language in itself. And if you ever come across a Geechee person, um, if you see them in South Georgia, whether it be in my area of Darien or Sapelo Island, Georgia. That is where you will get to hear the stories, and there are plenty of documentaries also that you can watch on Netflix, or you can go and find um even on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so yeah, that was the Rice Festival. They had a rice. I can't remember how it was worded on the poster, but they had a rice cook off. There's so many different types of rice. So but yeah, the performances were great. The line dancers were great. That was a dope experience, and I'm glad I went. And then later that night, I went with the fellas. I was out with the fellas this time. My buddy, my brother, Larry. He goes by the name Just Larry. His stage name is Just Larry, JUSLARRY. He had a performance for Rollo, kind of out in the same area, out that way where the Rice Festival was. He had a performance. He performed. So I was out with the fellas, just enjoying that, out there vibing, chilling, laughing, all of that good stuff. Ate again, of course. I was hungry. And then the next day, Sunday, I ended up going to the Porch Festival, which was downtown. And, a friend of mine invited me, a good friend of mine invited me. And I'm glad I went. Now, that was my first time going there. I went, and the Porch Festival is just, I found out that, these different bands, they pay people to perform on their front porch. And, it's live band, and it's the vendors out there as well, but also they perform, and you know, they get to showcase their talents. And this isn't the first Porch Festival that downtown Brunswick has hosted, but it was my first time going. I went. I was very, very glad I went because also I have friends that play in bands that I met at work that I have turned into friends, and they played. And it was nice to show up for them, but also get to see them do what they love to do. And I love seeing people in their element, so to speak, and the joy that they get on their faces when they're performing, and when they're, um, I guess feeling at their freest. You know, I don't know if that's the word. If freest is a word, but just seeing them feel as free as they possibly can and want to be, and in their zone, doing their thing. That was very, very fun, and I definitely will be back. The vibes were definitely high, and then last weekend, Friday, I went out again But it was just a get together for my bro Jacob, who is going through a loss. So definitely enjoyed being out of the house with him, laughing with him, and just enjoying that time with him and with the other guys. Try to take your mind off of what he's going through. So I was definitely outside these past 2 weekends. I don't regret it because I don't go out a lot. I don't party a lot. I don't drink a lot. I don't be out. Um, but it was something about which like I said, the Rice Festival kicked it off. So I was just something said to me, something told me like, no, you got to get out more. Um, you love being at home. I've talked about that in episodes, but and I do. I still love being at home, but I just want to be outside when the timing is right, when the environment calls, like when there's an environment that I want to be around. I don't want to be around a bunch of people drinking all the time. That has to be a special occasion. But if I'm out with some music, um, outside literally, and where we can enjoy the weather, you can enjoy some people, um, without being on your phones and having good conversation, and especially if it's something new. You know, I feel like that right there, is a good reason to be outside. And I'm interested in meeting more people and just doing different things that I'm not used to. Once you go to a club, you know what the club is like. There's music, there's people dancing, there's people drinking, having a good time. Nothing wrong with that. But you know what that's like. I didn't know what the Porch Festival was like. I didn't know what the Rice Festival was like. You know, these are all different scenes for me, but I know for a fact that, um, with it being something new, I knew for a fact that I would go into it, obviously not knowing what to expect, but also having um a certain level of excitement for it, just not knowing. I feel like we got to be curious sometimes, and I know they say curiosity killed the cat, but you introduce yourself to new things, you never know who you're going to meet, and where that may even lead you. And you make new memories, maybe uh with some of the same people or with new people, and you build new connections. And yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. Get outside. Get outside. You can be in the house and enjoy that space, but get outside too. Just get outside and enjoy the weather, enjoy conversations, enjoy the air, enjoy being with your people. You know, just enjoy the new things, enjoy new things. I'm so grateful to be able to essentially move kind of the way that I want to move. Um because it's important to capitalize on opportunities that God gives you, no matter what they are. And sometimes God gives you something, or He presents you with an opportunity, and that opportunity may not come about again. So if you miss it, you may miss it, you know? And I don't want to say miss it. You forfeit it, because what's for you won't miss you. But sometimes I feel like when God gives you a blessing, sometimes you can fumble that blessing. Sometimes you don't even identify that the blessing is right in front of you, because you're so blinded by everything else, and or scared or whatever, that you know God is like, all right, well, I tried. I'm gonna head out with this blessing. Maybe next time. You never know. You never know exactly. But I love people. I love talking to people. There are people that I have made connections with, and I consider my friends at work. At the gym, I've met people when I worked at Walmart. I've met people at the gas station. I've met people on cruises that I still talk to. I've met people, just going about my day to day. Going about my day to day. I don't go out and try to be um like mum or discreet or anything like that. Like I go out and I try to put good energy out, but I also just try to talk to people. talk to people, whether it's just casual conversation or it's something like you get into a deep conversation about, you know, personal stuff somehow, because that can happen. That can happen. You can meet somebody for the first time, and one thing can lead to another, and now y'all talking about what happened to you when you were, 7 years old, and why you are the way you are today, um, and vice versa. And you can be doing that, like I said, at the gym. You could be at the park. You could be anywhere. We can't be walking around mad. We can't be walking around sheltering ourselves from experienced life and holding ourselves back from experiencing life. We can't. I know the world is scary. I know that there's a lot that's going on in the world. And I know people are definitely crazy. And I would never tell anyone to just be reckless, because people are wild. But at the same time, it's like I can't let I can't let anything hold me back from being truly, truly happy and feeling fulfilled. Yes, proceed with caution wherever you go. Always keep your head on a swivel. Always pray for protection. But you'd have to definitely still live life. When I do go to a club, I get a little antsy because you don't know. But you have to pray and just believe that God's got you and you're protected and that you're covered, and then that you just go. You just go ahead and go enjoy yourself, because once you finally get past that initial feeling of fear and anxiousness, man, listen, you will have a good time and you'll forget that feeling, you know, and you'll be out there and you won't even remember feeling that way. And you're good, and then, time goes by fast. So yeah, you got to enjoy it. And then you're gonna want to do more of it. As long as it's healthy and moderation, it's not interfering with your work, family, anything like that. I want to go to jazz. I want to go to a jazz lounge. I want to be able to go to, I want to go watch some open mic nights. You know, it's like spoken word places and pottery and sipping and painting. Like I want to do a lot of those type of things. Um, that's not necessarily loud. I want to do some things that like on the, kind of calm, but like at the same time, it's like I enjoy this vibe. You know what I'm saying? So if you know any spots to these different type of places, lounges and all of those different type of things, yeah, please let me know. Hit me up. Let me know where I can go. Let me know. Drop me some places. I'm in Georgia. Drop me some places. You know what I'm saying? And me and whoever, even if it's by myself. One of my good friends just came back from PA by herself. By herself. And it was like a week-long trip. And I'm like, you sure? Like, she was like, yes. You know? And we were talking the other day. If you listen to this, you know who you are. You better be listening now. But we were talking the other day and she was like, yeah, I kind of want to run away. And I'm like, huh? And she was just telling me like it's so much life to experience. So much life to experience. Of course you get those blues when you coming back and you like, man, vacation is over. You got to return to work and return to the day-to-day mundane stuff. And that always hits me. It hits me during the weekend. Having 2 days off, that hits me. So, of course that hits after a week-long vacation. Especially if you travel. If you travel away from home and went somewhere and was gone, oh yeah, it hits even harder because you got to leave this place to come back to your house and then wash the clothes and you got to prep for the man. Yeah, so definitely, um, definitely a feeling of like But yeah, we just talked about like yeah, there's a lot of life to live. Life is more than just working. You got to be able to work and provide, but for yourself and for people, for your family, or if you don't have a family, you got to definitely provide for yourself, regardless. So you got to work. Ain't nobody gonna take care of you. So you got to work. But don't get lost in the work. Don't get lost in the solitude. Don't get lost. There's a time and a place to be still, and always follow that spirit of discernment when God is telling you to stay away from this situation or to leave this place. But um Like I said, there's a time and a place. So don't forget to experience life, like, because like you gonna miss out. Before we not here. Amarion, I watched the interview, Amarion interview yesterday. He was like, "Man, we not here for a long time. We not, you know. One day you're a kid, the next day you're an adult. That's how it feels. Time passes so quickly that it feels like you jump from being a kid to an adult in a day. Crazy feeling, but it's true. So experience life. Get outside. Get outside and enjoy the weather and enjoy people. I for one am. Nobody or nothing's gonna hold me back from that. So here's to more experiences um with myself and with people that matter who wanna experience life. So um I think that's it, man. I think that's it. Thank y'all for listening again. Sorry for leaving y'all hanging once again. I apologize. Life just be life sometimes. So I appreciate y'all for listening. Enjoy your week. Don't let it be mundane. All right. Get outside, drink your water, work out, eat right, eat your fruits and your veggies, get your protein. Yeah, man. Lock in on your mental and get outside. Thank y'all for listening. As always, listen to this podcast on not only Spotify or Apple Music. You can listen to it on Amazon Music. You can listen to it on what else can you it's on Google Play. It's everywhere. Okay? This podcast is everywhere. So listen to me. YouTube as well. Um Check out all my social media at Jamal Butler at Jamal Butler. Okay, not Jamal, not Jamel, Jamal, Jemahl, last name Butler. Check me out, holla at me, subscribe, like, comment, repost, share, save, all of that stuff. Thank you for listening, for rocking with me. I love you. It ain't nothing you can do about it. So accept it. Okay? And get outside this week. That's it. I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.
So far,